Even as we run our air conditioners for 12 to 14 hours a day in the scorching summer in the Indian cities, nearly half the country's population still dwells without electricity. More than 100,000 villages in India are yet to be touched by the national power grid today. Some of the villages are so far away from the national grid and located in such difficult terrains that it is impossible to electrify them through conventional means for at least the next decade. Besides, the pollution caused by thermal plants, which constitute over 70% of India's power generation, is so high that it is imperative to look at alternate methods for reaching out to the vast population of our country to ensure electricity in their houses. Among the non conventional means, solar power is one of the options being currently tried by the government for electrification of remote villages. But solar power is so expensive today that it often costs the government over 15 lakh rupees to electrify a 100 household village. The sad part here is that panels, being costly products, are eyed by the local as well as international mafia who often steal these panels from the villages and leave the helpless villagers in the dark again. Perhaps it's time to reinvent the wheel. We have been working on the concept of an oxen driven generator, a simple and robust setup made up of pulleys, gears, that when attached to an ox can change the lives of people belonging to the real bottom of the pyramid. When an ox moves around this machine in a simple walking motion, the gear and pulley mechanism is used to step up the speed to as high as 2500 to 3000 rotations per minute. The high speed rotating shaft can then be attached to a water pump to draw water up to a height of 20 meters at a rate as high as 3 to 5 liters per second. In other words, we can pump up to 3000 liters of water by a single oxen when attached to the setup. In India, when we are struggling to grow more than one crop every year, mostly due to lack of irrigation mechanism and the impact of the setup near a village or near the village pond or a well can mean easily doubling up of crops in that region. An extra crop of vegetables can surely be cultivated if irrigation by this method is done. Now, coming to the chief application in the same setup, if we attach an alternator or a generator, we can ensure a constant output of nearly half horsepower through the alternator that can be used to charge a 150 ampere hour battery in 4 to 5 aux hours of work. This battery can then be used to provide basic electricity of 2 LED lights per house for up to 30 houses for 4 hours every day, say from 5 pm to 9 pm. With 2 to 4 such gensets, we can provide basic electrification for 50 to 100 houses to the innermost villages in the country. The entire setup can be achieved at a fraction of cost of solar lighting, making the ox driven generator an idea worth trying.